Buffalo Bills have a tough task this weekend going against a Josh McDaniels-led team, the Vegas Raiders, with Jimmy G, Josh Jacobs, who led the NFL in rushing last year, and as well as Davante Adams, who's said to be the best wide receiver in the game. But welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. We need to discuss it. Josh Jacobs, the best running back, one of the best, going against the Buffalo Bills. We see what the Jets did going up for a $172. Breece Hall, Delvin Cook running the ball down our throat. We need to make sure that we're going to be sound in our run fit. So that's the first theme for this game. The Buffalo Bills need to beat the Vegas Raiders by stopping the run. First and foremost, stopping the run. And you look at just the difference between Jimmy G and Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is actually a better pure pocket passer than Jimmy G. I think he could make all of the throws. Derek Carr can potentially pass the ball 40 times a game and win the game, whereas Jimmy G, I think, is more of a balanced type quarterback. And what's interesting is when you listen to interviews and people speaking about the Vegas Raiders this year compared to last year, the first time with Josh McDaniels, they have now accustomed to their players, right? They have brought in more of the Patriot way from Josh McDaniels to fit their scheme. Derek Carr technically did not fit Josh McDaniels' offense, so they had to part ways, and they bring in Jimmy G, who has worked with Josh McDaniels in the past. Seems like a much more logical fit for this team. So we're going to really see them have a more balanced rushing attack. I mean, led the NFL last year in rushing, and now Jimmy G really believing in a Josh McDaniels-led offense here. It just seems like a more logical fit. You know, they said they're calling them the Patriots of the West, and they said last year they had about 10 of those Patriot players, but now they're up to around like 30 of those Patriot players for that Patriot way. So first and foremost, the Buffalo Bills need to stop the run because we know the Oakland Raiders are going to rely on that run, a play-action attack against the Bills. We know how potent an under-center quarterback and play-action can be against these linebackers, especially a young linebacker, Terrell Bernard, who made his first start for the Buffalo Bills last week against the New York Jets. And this is the second thing the Buffalo Bills will need to do in order to win this game is capitalize on every single moment. Be where your feet are. And check the link down in the description. You guys can check out the new merch we have here. The new Dalton Kincaid Terminator shirt. I think Dalton Kincaid is definitely going to have to get involved. But click the link in the description. Check that out. I am saying we need to understand and cherish every single moment during this game. Understand that once a moment happens, it's gone forever. So we need to capitalize on each and every single moment. Every moment is a moment to capitalize and get a ball or turn things over. I need to see more from Terrell Bernard. I want to see more from this entire defense. Yeah, I think we did halfway decent last week against Zach Wilson, ultimately knocking Aaron Rodgers out of the game, but it was a sack fest on Aaron Rodgers. What happened? They started getting the ball out really quick, the New York Jets. Didn't allow Zach Wilson to stand in that pocket for a long time, and it really capitalized. Our pass rush stopped. We really stopped getting to Zach Wilson. So I'm expecting them to utilize the run and, if anything, utilize a short passing game. So that means our corners need to really be physical at the line of scrimmage. We need to hold them up more at the line of scrimmage than versus waiting for the play to develop. Now, if they do establish a run, if we do have that fear of the run, which likely is going to happen throughout the game. I mean, they have Josh Jacobs. It's going to really, really help keep the defense balanced here, right? So Sean McDermott, this is the third thing that needs to happen here. From every single player making plays, Sean McDermott really needs to lead a great game plan against the Oakland Raiders offense. You know, stopping Davante Adams is a tough task. But then we also spoke about Josh Jacobs in the run. Now, Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams, and they also have a sneaky player here in DeAndre Carter, who's very, very fast. And a lot of the Oakland fans are hyped about Carter, saying how fast he is, and you really got to watch out for him. So he definitely has a really, really dynamic speed that you need on the offensive side of the ball. The last thing I think the Buffalo Bills really need to do here to defeat the Oakland Raiders is to keep utilizing our short game. Last week we saw Deontay Hardy lined up at the running back position really only on the first and second drive of the game. On the first drive, it was once. On the second drive, it was twice. And he had 3 targets on each of those packages. And after that, it was done. Ken Dorsey refused to go to it again. And if you really look at the stats, he had 3 receptions, I think, for 9 yards. So the run after the catch ability really wasn't there. But the point of this is that the New York Jets called a lot of cover 3 and cover 4 zone coverage against the Buffalo Bills. And we saw what happened with Josh Allen's multiple 3 interceptions. I did break down those interceptions. I'll link to the video above. But again, the Oakland Raiders last week called cover 3 and cover 4 the majority of the game. And I'm expecting the same sort of defense. This is a great redemption game for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to go against a similar style defense as the Oakland Raiders, similar style zone coverages, and really expose those zone coverages. And I'm expecting that to go down. So what happens when they do call cover 3 and cover 4? Those zones, it really opens up the short passing game. So to Deontay Hardy, right? The shallow crossing routes, it really should open things up for the wide receivers. And what it does is it forces offenses to call a high number of plays to march all the way down the field and score points. And that's really typically what the Buffalo Bills have forced teams to do. Forces teams to call a high number of plays. You know, you take away explosives, which are like 20-yard gains or more. You take away that, you force them to march down the field, call a high number of plays, which is very hard. We always heard Brian Daboll say it takes all 11. It takes all 11 on the offensive side of the football. Whereas on defense, you know, someone could actually just make a play out of nowhere and save it for the rest of the defense. But on offense, it takes all 11 to step up into that play. So I really think the Buffalo Bills should be able to hopefully expose the Oakland Raiders in this matchup. They do have a ton of weapons here with with Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Jimmy G. They could definitely operate this Josh McDaniels-led offense the Patriot way. They're kind of comparing him to Alex Smith. Like he's this kind of stopgap quarterback that's going to help coach up a rookie in the meantime. But he could lead this offense. He could definitely lead this offense. Defensively with Max Crosby going against Spencer Brown, we definitely have to hold things up. And that's really all I'm worried about. Without Chandler Jones, it's really helping out Spencer Brown, maybe having Osiris Torrance come over and chip a little bit against Max Crosby. But I think 2-guy attention on Max Crosby all game long. Back end of that Raiders defense could definitely get exposed with Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid in the Terminator shirt. Come on, the Terminator, let's go. Hope you guys appreciate this video. If you did, hit like, subscribe. Go Bills.